Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Leadership Live Wire, where we have a really amazing topic. Everybody, hey, how's it going? If you can hear me loud and clear, can you just give me a hello in the chat box, everybody? Hi, Nick, Karonisa, Eric Chia. Hello. All right, if you can hear me loud and clear, guys. Sharmila, wow, nice to see you. Hello. Wave back. I wave back at you as well. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have an amazing session today. So if I can just give you a quick introduction. Today's Leadership Live Wire. Hi, CS Lee. Wow, CS. Okay, if you're the CS, I know. Long time no see. Paige. Oh my gosh, Sarah. Okay, I'm seeing some really old friends here. Thank you for being here today. We've got an amazing time. I think I've got a lot of superstars that are on this show. So the Leadership Live Wire is a very interesting show. We call it Live Wire because like a live wire, like a wire that has current, but it's sending energy out and it's sparking and igniting ideas. And so the Leadership Live Wires are about bringing fresh ideas, fresh thoughts, different perspectives to the challenges that we have in our every ordinary day of work, of life, of entrepreneurship. How's it going? I'm Jeanne Ooi. Hello, nice to see you. The live wire talk that we have today is super interesting, all right? Now, we are talking today about the transition from specialists to people managers. And for many of us, and I don't know if any of you are in this category, me included, we all came from a category of being very good at what we do. We started our careers by being the problem solvers, by being the executors, by doing it ourselves, by being the subject matter expert. And we grew in our ranks, promoted, and probably got to a point where we started to lead a team. And the funny, interesting part of that is no one prepared us for that. So we probably had a background in finance, me, banking, a background in food science, a background in programming and computer science, you name it, right? So we were trained. We had the background with the learning and the training to be a very good specialist. And the interesting thing is when we take a look at what does it take to become a people manager? I just want to share my screen with you. If I can get the back end to share some of these statistics. It's not coming from us, but it's coming from the Center for Creative Leadership. If any of you have followed their blog, they have some of the most interesting stuff. And this is some of the data that they've shared. They said that 20% of people that lead and manage for the first time, they do a poor job according to their subordinates. The subordinates say 20% are not good at doing their job as a manager. Interesting, yeah? Now, the next set of information is also this. In the survey that was done by the Center of Creative Leadership, 26% of first-time managers feel that they weren't ready to lead in the beginning. They were not even ready to lead others to begin with. So they were not ready. They were probably very good at executing. They were very good at doing it themselves. And suddenly, when I get to a C-suite, a CTO, a CMO, or whatever suite, right, or a senior VP position, I have a team and I have to get results through others. Last fact, guys, peel in. Last fact, all right, is when the survey was done, this was super cool, but 60% say, these first-time managers, 60%, quite a high number, say they never received any training when they transitioned into their first leadership role. So it was almost, ladies and gentlemen, almost learn on the job, on the go. And some people who figure it out, they become very good leaders and managers, and we see some of them today. Some of them are also on this call. How's it going, Johan Mokhtar? And if I may, it is almost a let me figure it out as I go along. But majority of leaders, first-time managers, did not get that training to transition. How many of you know what I mean? Say, yeah. If you understand that, this is what today is all about. All right. So let me bring on our amazing team from the Spark Group Asia. Okay, so I'm really going to have such a blast. KP Core, thank you for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can trouble you to do this, the topic that we have for you today, before I bring on the other speakers, a topic that I have for you today is actually a very, very interesting one. And many of you might know people that are in that space, or they are in that space where they need to empower their managers more. So if I can trouble you to tag them so that they don't lose this live discussion. If not, they can always catch the recording later. But if you can tag them, like what KP Core has done, thank you very much in advance. If you can do that, then they cannot miss this critical conversation. All right, so let me bring up our teams of coaches, really amazing people that have been transforming people for many, many, many years. All right, we have Jeanne Ooi. All right, so let me bring up Coach Jeanne.
All right, thank you, Maresa.
How's it going?
Awesome. Yeah.
Jeanne and ourselves have been, so busy in transforming not just leaders and businesses all across. Yeah. So if I can, Jeanne is a respected leadership professional coach. She's also in the human resource space for so many years, transforming people and businesses. So maybe Jeanne, if you can share a little bit about your experience and your background, that would be lovely.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, first of all, so good to see all these names that's chatting with us right now. Oh, I see someone from Vietnam. Welcome. Yeah. So really quickly about my background. I've been in a space of, I guess, both business and HR. I love both of it, right? I just love both of it, and I cannot separate my work. Hence, today I'm a business leadership coach, and I'm also in the HR consulting world. And in my space of working with, I guess, companies and groups, hundreds of managers across Asia, what really excites me is this first topic we're bringing to all of you today. Yeah, I've been in a space of training new managers. I've heard their cries. I've seen their challenges. I've seen their sweat. If you must, like, this is really tough. Help. All right.
Yeah.
So so I think those are the spaces that got me really, really in tune with what really is going on the ground. Because so many people become managers in their lifetimes, right? And all of us aspire to be managers when we start off our career, thinking it's such a wonderful thing to be managers, until you get to it. Then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. Yeah, so I think let's talk a little bit more about it today.
We should. And I think the work there in helping more leaders to be more effective has even become more intensified because of the virtual remote culture. Yeah, it's even intensified, and we almost recognize that those gaps were there pre-COVID. COVID and the pandemic, from the advent of working from home, just magnified problems that were already there. So I can't wait to get into this discussion. And the next person that I really want to bring up, everybody, help me welcome Coach Ee Lin. Yay! Everybody say hello to Coach Ee Lin and Coach Jeanne.
Woo-hoo!
Hi everyone. So good to
Very
see some
nice.
familiar names in the chat. Yeah.
We actually have amazing friends. I know Palm from Vietnam. We were there in Ho Chi Minh City a couple of years back. I can't wait to go back and visit. Coach Ee Lin has an amazing background, tons of experience as well. Thank you, Fizia, sparklers. You make us sound like sprinkling water system, but it's okay. We're here to sprinkle more wisdom and forum out your questions. So thank you so much, Fizia. Ee Lin, for me, is somebody with lots of experience. I think both Jeanne and Ee Lin. So if I can turn this over to Coach Ee Lin, share a little bit about your background. What inspires you, and what got you here?
Yeah. I've been many years working in different organization, different type of organization, whether in the manufacturing, in research background, in due diligence solutions. You always have to deal with people, and along the way, you you see specialists, turn into managers, you promote them, and then they'll come to you, oh, now I have to be a manager. What should I do? Yeah, and then they started to say that, oh, it's much harder than they thought,
Yeah.
initial form. Think, oh, I'll become a manager is so good. But then when they're in the position, they realize that they have to manage people and lead people, and that is not an easy task. Yeah.
Not
So
easy.
we have heard many stories, both good and so some not so good story. So I think today will be a good time that we can talk about it, share the challenges, share what
Yeah.
are the tips that we can do so that we have a much, much fulfilling journey being a manager. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And when we are called to these positions of leadership to take on more responsibility, there's always that excitement. But if I can, the excitement definitely is very fulfilling. But if I can just pose this question to both the coaches here, yeah, let's forum this out. And everybody in the room, gang, I invite you to lay on the questions. You've got the 3 coaches here, and we're here to be able to walk through some of these issues with you. So, guys, please don't hold back. We're here from you, especially in the live wire, because your questions are going to make a difference to everybody that probably even has these issues. All right. So, my first question is to Jeanne and Ee Lin. What are the common challenges that you discover in leaders that are trying to transit from being the specialist into managing people? What are some of those common challenges? Maybe I'll pose this out to Jeanne first and then Ee Lin.
Thanks, Maresa. I think we all know all these challenges. The first, I'll just call out one and let Ee Lin call out another one. So I think it's just more interesting to hear from different voices. For me, I think the first one is transitioning from managing tasks to managing people, right? Because when you're working by yourself, you're always thinking about getting what you need done today. You have your own checklist and you're ticking it off, and all you have to think about is what you need to do. But then when one day you have to take care of a team,
Yeah.
now you have your own checklist, and you have so many
checklist.
other checklists. And depending on what platform you use to track the checklist, it can be overwhelming, right? So suddenly, the manager realizes the checklist can be times 3, times 5. And he needs more hours in a day. So I think that's the first challenge someone faces. Somehow the work just double, triple, quadruple. So that's I would think the first one. Yeah.
So it's almost managers become their own bottleneck. They become their own bottleneck, because when I become a manager, it's fine if I delegate everything and then all I need to do is just make sure people do their work. But no, I've got my own escalated responsibilities. How many of you know that as well? Business owners, C-suites and senior managers, they become the bottleneck to their own department, to their own organizations, to their own businesses. Okay, so that's and I love how you put it into so much practical perspective, right? Many people can empathize with that. Ee Lin, what's the common challenge that you come across?
Yeah. Interestingly, just now, Maresa, you mentioned about, as a manager, I can delegate, right? However, we think that, oh, it's very easy, I just delegate. But then a lot of managers, that the new managers, they do not know how to delegate. Because they have been a specialist, they have been doing things by themselves. You just do it, whatever comes, I just do it. I solve the problems, I finish the project, I complete the task, I complete this checklist and Excel sheet and everything. But now I have a lot more, like you say, I need to delegate. But they may not know how to delegate effectively. And how to delegate effectively and delegate the right job to the right person, and how to follow up after that to make sure that that job get done. Because after a while they say to delegate to them is so mafan, so troublesome. I must ever do it myself.
Must I do it myself? Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Then it's like what Jeanne says, you triple, double, quadruple your workload. Yeah.
And that's so true from every extent, because if I do it myself, it takes 2 minutes. If I delegate it to somebody else, they take 2 days and maybe even 2 more hours of my own checking. So why don't I do it myself? So
Yeah.
so then the manager becomes that his or her own bottleneck. And when you talk about delegation is the art of a science or an art of communication, if I can. Yeah. So when we look at communication, everyone knows it is critical in leading and managing. Okay, and I'll differentiate leadership and management very shortly. But we all know communicating is very important in leading and managing. So if I can, what are some of the blockages in communicating? And I'll pose this question to Jeanne. What are some of the blockages in communicating properly? Okay, and what is proper? And what are some of these key communication strategies that leaders need to be aware of so that they can delegate properly? Because I'm sure they don't want the work to get stuck. And they can have up to 600 people that work for them, but they will still feel they're doing all the work themselves, and that's such a waste. So what are the communication blockages, and what are some of those strategies you can just share with us?
Well, I think before we go into the blockages, I like all of us here. I wish I can see all of you seriously, right? It'll be so wonderful if we're all in a session drinking tea and coffee together. I actually brought my coffee cup.
All right.
Yeah.
All
so I'm just thinking, managers need to communicate, right? And if I can just continue from where we started just now, like I have so much work to do, and I have to communicate more now as a manager compared to when I was working by myself. So now I have to communicate with so many different people in my team. And because I don't have time, because I have so much to do, I want to communicate it very fast, isn't it? So I tend to see people like, gosh, it even comes out in the speech. Quick, let's hurry. No time.
Faster.
Are you ready? Pen? Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I got 5 points, right? Point number 1. Point number 2. Point number 5. Okay, can you please repeat? You missed point number 4. Let me repeat. So the manager goes, bam. Right. All right, guys. Any questions? No questions? Awesome. See you tomorrow. Review meeting, 3 o'clock. Don't forget, 3 o'clock.
And the next day, what do you guys do? Don't know lah, boss. Haven't done anything yet.
Can you tell me that thing? You wrote down the 5 points, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I so love that. Jeanne, you just talked about something. C.S. Lee nailed it. Interpersonal relationship. All right. So it's almost like a bullet train, and let's just get things done without understanding the person. And so if I can understand the communication strategy here that we're talking about, and guys, I hope you're writing this down, it's almost that it's not just chopping up the points, but I really love that Jeanne also talked a little bit about listening to what people got. So if you are communicating well, you are also able to hear. Is it, you understand? Any question? No? Okay, bye. I love that so much because it happens all the time. How many of us are pressed for time? Yeah, it's not easy. So that's really powerful. C.S. Lee, different types of social profiling of personalities in the same team need different interpersonal skills to handle the same team of people. That's absolutely right. Communication is not a one size fit all. Absolutely.
And it's not one way as well.
It is two ways.
It's 2 ways.
Beautiful.
So I think that's the next part. Why do I need to understand there are different types of people out there, right?
Yes.
And why do I need to understand that they're different from me? I mean, like when I talk, you mean they may not be tuning in the same channel? And you mean they're not listening 100%? I mean, if I knew that if we can actually see this happening, right? It's just that we can't see, right? We can only hear our words going out.
Yep.
We can see, we go like, oh my gosh, why are you thinking about dinner? Or why are you thinking about something else? Why are you not focusing on what I'm telling you? But that's the different channels we're talking about. So CS, you brought about, I think, something that many new managers discover almost like in the job or on the job. They didn't realize it before when they were specialists,
Yes.
you know. But
Because
now,
all they had to do was communicate with themselves. They don't need to communicate with others. And so if I can, C.S. Lee, thank you so much. Different stroke for different folk. And let me explain this a little bit more for those of you who are feeling that, okay, this is nailing some bits on the head. As leaders, we are sometimes communicating in our language versus communicating in their language. Does that make sense? So if it's a chicken and duck, as a leader, do you communicate in duck if you're trying to get across to duck, or are you communicating in chicken and then why the duck don't understand? Just to lay it down, because that is very, very crucial in the language of communication, and it's fundamental, right? Anything to add, Ee Lin, to these thoughts here on communication?
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking, like not just like you talk about the language, right? If I'm talking to the duck, I use the duck language. But
Yeah.
also some people like to see, they like to see charts. They like to see something.
Mm.
The receiving channel is by their sight. Some is by hearing. So if I'm somebody who just like to talk, showing them something, then the person is the more like a seer. Then they can't get it. So there's another part of it that we need to understand, like what CS Lee said. Different people will receive it differently. Or do they need us to show them or not? We have to show it to them, do it together with them. Then they only can receive the message. Like Jean says, we just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the points, and that's it. Go and do it. Even when we ask question, the way we ask, do you have any questions? But we're already ready to move. Then they say, oh, I better don't ask question. Jean is already moving already.
She's halfway out the door.
You have any questions? But the body language is going towards the door. So I think all these things you have to be aware as well in communication. It's not just our word, but our body language. How do they receive the channel that they receive information? Yeah,
That's
these
right.
are the things that we need to know our people. Then we can have a much more better, effective communication strategy with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really love you talked about the communication channels and how varied it is. So guys, if you are peeling into what Coach Ee Lin talked about, gang, is the communication of words, yeah, the communication of audio, which is hearing, and the communication of body language. So if like Jean body is already half outside, body language is I gotta go. Bye, sayonara. And so I got a question, and then I keep laughing. Okay, bye. So body language is louder. It's also sometimes so loud what people don't say as to what they say, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. More on communication. Hang on before I go there. Su Yi Tong. Hello, I am trying to communicate with my manager like we want to try a new way to become better. But he or she straight away reject and said, that cannot work. Oh, very good. How can I solve this problem? I have tried to communicate with he or she. Oh, okay. So not open. Thank you, Su Yitong. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just bring up what Johan Mokhtar talked about, and then let's go to the coaches. Johan, check understanding by asking the listener to paraphrase your key message or your instruction. Very good.
Very good.
One of the better ways,
Awesome.
fantastic, is to
Very good.
listen. So after you've shared all the information, did you understand that? Can I hear what you've understood? And then they lay it out again. Thank you, Johan. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very lovely. And I love that we are supporting each other in the group. Hey, bring it on. Okay, let's get to Sui. Okay. So, Jean, what are your thoughts around, people who are close? What I hear from Sui.
Yeah.
Her manager is close. How about we try it this way? No lah, cannot done before. Did it before. Never mind lah. We do it the old way. All right? And then reject. Any ways that we can help Sui here?
So good. Sui, thank you for your question, because, it's a very common scenario.
Yeah.
Many experienced managers have all the answers. Therefore, anyone younger, less experienced, let me tell you, I've eaten more rice than you. I've gone through enough to tell you it doesn't work. So what
Okay.
you're saying is happening every single day, right?
Right. Right.
So I see your last phrase there. It says, I've tried to communicate with he or she.
Mhm.
Um, can I ask you, have you asked your manager, are you open? Have you asked your manager whether he wants a solution? Because I want to say this because when a person is closed, have they decided in their mind to be closed even before they're in the conversation with you?
Okay.
Have you experienced your manager before you can even finish your sentence, they finish it for you? Or they tell you, I know what you're talking about, cannot work one.
Mm.
So it's almost like the person has made up their mind even before you finish talking, right?
Sure.
So I think the first thing we need to set almost is, are we here for an open discussion? Do we want to discuss or do we not want to discuss?
Okay.
Right.
Very
So
good.
yeah, let me just offer that first thing just to set the environment, the platform right
Yep.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So it's almost like, do we have the same intention? Do we have the
Mm,
same intention to solve this problem? If the answer is yes, because there's a difference between intention and delivery. If the intention is, let's find a problem to the solution, okay, perhaps it is the suggestion or the proposal that they really don't agree with. So I think is to be very clear with the intention, and that's what I hear Coach Jeanne talks about here. So fantastic. Thank you. I hope Suyi, this is making a difference. She likes a prediction. Interesting. Like to predict. I know it cannot work because I have a crystal ball here that can tell me if I touch it, the answer will come out, and I know it cannot work. So prediction, okay. I hear Suyi. Thank you, Ee Lin, what are some thoughts to help Suyi here?
Yeah, I think also to understand the manager's style. You know,
Okay,
what is the person's style in terms of receiving communication?
okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, some people, they do not like others to give the suggestions to him or her.
yeah,
Yeah. So how can we? Then we will have to find a way to communicate in a way that the ideas come from him or her. So
right,
it's easier to accept
right.
that, it's like a discussion, that we
yeah.
discuss it together, and then together as a team we come up with the idea. It's not like what Jean says, I'm more experienced, you're junior, how can you tell me what to do? But now we're coming to a meeting, we discuss it together, and then
Yeah,
it's a project together, and not that the junior staff told me what to
yeah,
do. So I think we also
yes.
need to understand the manager, their staff.
Mm.
Some of them,
And
we
that,
really need them the space to go and think about it.
yes,
You can give the
Yeah.
suggestions, let them have a space and time to go and think about it. And because some people need more time to process it.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
think I'll just add on to that as well, because sometimes when the setting in which you're trying to share this idea is in a group setting, and the person feels that they need to defend a certain initiative, and then
Yeah.
it's in a group, so that could also create those reactions of, let me reject first. I don't think it's a
Mm.
good idea. We've been doing this for so many years. Let me reject first. So it could be an initial reaction when the person has not really understood the idea.
Mm.
Another thing that also as coaches we find a lot of is people don't respond well to telling. When you
Yes.
point your finger and then you tell and then you say, this is how we do it, this is how, I'm sure Suyi, that's not your approach. Yeah, but perhaps changing the approach, because if you ask a question, so what if we did it this way? Could it be that we need to try A and then B? Could it be? So you're approaching it from
Mm,
questions. And I know another very good approach a lot of leaders and managers do, and Suya, I hope this is helping you. Another one that I found very useful is to ask for help. was like, hey, could you help me out with this? Could you help me? And when it comes from help, people are very willing to come in and say, oh, you got a problem there? Let me try and let me try to figure it out. People want to support you because they know you've got a problem. And if it came from there, now then that's another conversation on vulnerability. All leaders need to know a little bit of vulnerability. That was our session that we had with Dr. Sean last week. But there's a little bit of that. Actually, I don't know how to do. Can you help me? And that is one of the possible solutions. Jeanne, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
actually, there are many points that we can talk about in terms of helping somebody who is closed to be open, right?
Great.
I think starting with the positive note is one, right? So if I'm with this senior person that's been there all his life, her life, and knows every answer, perceived to know every answer, we go like, wow, it's so honoring for me, to work and understand these things from you. Say something that's nice but true. I mean, we want to be authentic in the way we talk, not like just say something just to make someone feel happy, right? So it's like call out the fact that, hey, we are good until now because of what you've done. Because now we want to go forward to this space. So now we're calling out a common objective. A common objective that you and I want to solve as a team.
Yes.
And then I'll ask the question, right? Which is am I getting it right? Is this the common objective that we are after? And it looks like we've been having this issue for the longest time. So then ask the questions.
And ask the questions. I love what C.S. Lee, thank you. Ask, identifying, and removing obstacle questions. And so sometimes before there's a rejection, we want to identify what is in the way before, like, oh, okay, you don't like my idea. So again, taking from CS here, asking questions is very, very important. All right. Another very good question that's coming in. Oh, I love this one. All right. Not sure whether we address that later. we do. Okay. Eric Chia. I manage a team. In most time, I feel it is much easier to do the work myself. Oh my gosh, just talk about that. And instead of communicate this to others, it takes longer to communicate it, and I get things done so much faster myself. Is there something wrong with my approach? Okay. So I think we just talked about that. So Eric, that's fantastic. This is around delegation, right? So this is around delegation. So maybe Ee Lin, let me throw this to you. What do you think Eric can do better? Hopefully, Eric, you're still on this call and then you're just peeling in and listening to all these strategies. Maybe Ee Lin, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about it just now. Like I do it faster than I ask my staff to do it. The one thing that will not change is that if we continue to do it, we will have to. Our workload will just get more and more. And our staff will not get better because they don't. They may not have an opportunity to learn something new and to develop themselves. So when they develop themselves, they can do more things and take up more responsibility. We can do, even more other things that may bring even greater values to the organization and the company. So that is how I would see the value of delegation, the value of developing, not just delegate the work, but also developing our staff at the same time. Then we can have a stronger team that can do even more. So in this, I think one of the ways is to use a coaching style, by asking questions instead of telling them, and find out. Sometimes I feel you, Eric, because I've been there before. That I do it faster. I have to explain to somebody. I have to tell the person. Maybe I have to take 10 minutes. I will do it at 5 minutes. However, if I spend the 10 minutes now, I can save the many hours of me doing it in the future because my staff will become better already. So I'll do it by asking questions, helping them to understand the reasons, the why, and ask them for the how. Because sometimes we'll be thinking that I can do it faster, but is my method the most, is it the best method in that sense? Maybe they have other methods that can be to get to
And
the
most
result.
likely they will have a better method if they have been on the ground longer than we have. They might
Yeah,
have a better way, say, hey,
correct.
how come why don't we try it this way? But
Yeah.
we need to be able to delegate it by asking questions. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
this is a very good one. Thank you so much, Elin. Eric,
Mm.
Johan Mokhtar talks about, Eric, it depends on if you want to continue doing everything yourself. I think not. Eric struggling there. Or if you want to train your staff to be able to perform the task efficiently so that you no longer have to do it yourself in the future. And if I
Yeah.
can, leaders, that's what we all do, is that we're investing into the future. We have less time now because we not only have our own checklist, as Jeanne shared, we have multiple other people's checklists. But as we invest in training them, they become better later, not immediately, but later. And so that's us investing in that. Another question is also when they make mistakes. I just had a long discussion yesterday about employees that make mistakes. And then we delegate. Oh my gosh. And then they stuff up. Oh my gosh. They make a mistake.
Yeah. Can I
Oh
share
my
an
god.
analogy? I just
Yes,
have an
please.
analogy in my
Yes, please.
mind
Go
as we're
go for
talking
it.
about Eric's question, which is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, you asked such a good question. Am I doing it wrong? You know, because it's every manager's question. So it's like, I want you to imagine um, teaching someone how to ride a bicycle, right? So
Okay.
this is going back to that simple analogy of like, I know how to ride a bicycle. I can do, I can go round and round the neighborhood, go up and down. No, I'm not going to fall into the drains. And here you have a team now who doesn't know how to ride a bicycle yet as good as you.
Okay.
So just as a parent teaching their kid one by one, how to ride the bicycle. So I want us managers to ask yourself, do you see the future of like your entire team riding the bicycle, 5, 6 of them are riding with you, wow, one big gang riding round the neighborhood, and having fun together? Or do you want to be the manager that has to carry all of them on your bicycle,
Oh, okay.
and riding the whole team around the neighborhood,
And that is a very interesting situation, because Jeanne, what you talked about is sometimes we are bringing all the people on our bicycle. It almost feels like as the leader, we are the most motivated. So it works so much better if others are motivated in the same direction and at the same intensity of going to that common goal. So I want to talk a little bit about motivation, because I think that's the hardest question. Many people have those question marks. Yeah, and many of you are in this room as well. The hardest thing is motivating people to take action and motivating people to take the right action. And some leaders don't know how this works. Some do and some don't. Can you share with us? Maybe I'll post this to Elin. What can you share with us? How does motivation work? What can leaders do?
Yeah. I think what the first step is to actually to find out the why of your people, of your team.
Okay.
The why, the reasons. How are they motivated? Do they
Right.
motivated towards achieving something,
Right.
towards a goal, towards
Okay.
a future, or are
Okay.
they motivated because they want to get away of the current problems?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to find out whether they are motivated towards something in the future that's good, or to be away from the current s- mess or challenges, the pain that they are feeling. Knowing that, knowing the why as well, then we will able to communicate to them using the language. Let's say, for example, I'm someone that always looking forward to the future promotion or the future rewards I'm going to have. So when my boss talk to me, he or she have to use the language of the future, the opportunities that are going to be. If I work hard, if I do certain things, that will be the opportunity I'm going to have. Of
Yeah.
course, the other thing to understand, even if let's say I'm motivated towards something good in the future, what is that something? It's not just necessary salary, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, just pay you more
Yeah.
or give you more bonuses. But
Yeah.
is that really what your staff wants? Could it be other things, like a opportunity to continue
True.
their education,
True.
opportunity to be in a leadership position, or not just salary, not just
Right.
bonuses, not just money? Yeah, so
Right.
I understand the why and what really motivates them, whether towards something that is looking forward or away from the pain. It could be currently
Mm.
they're really, wow, really a lot of problems, challenges, they keep having in the same problematic situation. That
Mm.
may be something that is so painful until they want to move. Yeah,
Ah.
then we have to talk to them about the pain. How
Right.
you do certain things or you behave certain ways, then you will be you'll be away out of this painful situation. So I
Oh,
think
that's
that's how
very interesting.
leaders can talk in our language, in our communication with them. Yeah, that's one way. Yeah, maybe uh, Jean and Marisa, can share as well.
Sure, sure. So what you're sharing here is that there are predominantly a toward motivation and away motivation, and it's up to us as leaders to know how to find out how people are motivated. And another
Yeah,
thing that I really love that you talked about is the motivation of money. And
mm,
many too often as leaders, some of us, not all, think that that's the only thing that motivates people. Now, we're not wrong in saying that yes, money is a motivator. Don't let me don't think that that's not what we're saying. But I think it's also above and beyond money.
yes, correct.
So if I can, maybe I'll just post this to Jean. What have you found in terms of the motivators when it comes to these rewards, Coach Jean, as you deal with different organizations and teams in motivating, maybe putting some of these salary scales in place, but obviously there seems to be more that people want. What are your
That's right.
views?
Yeah. Day after I've been doing, salary structures and pay scales and benefits, the works. So all of these are like the carrots that companies want to give to
Yeah, the carrots.
employees, right?
Sure.
What I found is this: um, company leaders give their employees what they like to be given. I found
Ooh,
that if they are motivated by money, they will ask
give
the
money.
consultant, please give them more money. If they are motivated by club memberships, they say, oh no, everyone needs a club membership. you know,
Oh,
they're
everybody needs a
motivated.
spa.
Everybody needs a car. Everybody needs
Yeah,
petrol.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it depends. And some people go, no, no, no. I think we need to give people good health benefits. Health is very important. You have this boss that's a fitness person.
Interesting. Mm.
So this is what I found. Like we as managers think that other people like what we like. Other people are
Interesting.
motivated by what we are motivated by. And
Wow.
that is the first, I think, thing that we need to debunk. It's not
Right.
true. It's
We
not true.
usually motivate people the way we like to be
Yes,
motivated.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's where it's so narrow because there's more than that. So companies
Mhm.
that put a lot of that monetary reward system in place because maybe that's what motivates the leader or the business owner, but not necessarily their team, their colleagues.
exactly.
Wow.
And
Wow.
if I can
Wow.
go back, right? If I can take this back to Sui's question
Mm.
of how some
Sui.
bosses tune off to your
Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah, it's
Yes.
because what you're saying doesn't motivate them to listen.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right, so that's the linkage there. So the work around motivation is so powerful. Just ask yourselves: are you motivated to listen to so and so? Who motivates you and who doesn't, and why?
Mm.
Why do some people
Fantastic.
like, oh gosh, you can just sit there and forget about time? And
True.
some, gosh, yeah, I don't need to talk to that person for years. It's okay.
Hmm.
Okay,
Very
so
interesting.
what does that tell you, right? About
Very.
motivation.
Yes.
So I just
Yes.
want to call that out because this is a mistake that many managers make, is to
Yeah.
assume that people are motivated the same way as you. Yeah,
Yes.
so I think
And
we
I
don't know.
love I love Coach Jean what you're talking about here, because I'm just remembering the Maslow hierarchy, which is the motivation, the human motivation, and then there are so many layers. I mean, we learned that in school. How many of you are familiar with the Maslow's hierarchy? I see a question from CSD. I'll come to that in a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. The Maslow's hierarchy we learn in school, but now we get to apply it in our workplace, because there are literally layers of motivation that the human being requires. Yeah. So that's very good. Thank you so much. I just think this really awesome question, guys. We're going to take maybe the last question. So, guys, please pop it in, and then we're going to start to wrap up the session, because I think it's been an awesome conversation. If you guys have been having fun in this conversation, let us know. Say yeah. If you have been benefiting from it as well, please let us know. Suyi has said, we have motivated him or her, he or she already in comfort zone. Okay, so um, this is the language. Yeah. So Suyi, please get in touch with us if we can help you. We'll be very happy to do that. CS Lee's question: How does one build his or her personal credibility as a manager or leader when moving from the platform of specialist? That's a very nice one. CS, when you talk about credibility, what are you talking about there? If you can just add in the CS. Are you talking about trust? Are you talking about skills and abilities and talent? Which one are you talking about, CS? All right, just clarify. Yeah. So if I can, let me pose this. Jeanne, Ee Lin, you want to give this a go? Trust. Okay.
Trust.
CSV is talking about trust. So personal credibility is trust, from manager leader to from specialist to people manager and leader. Okay, so how do you build trust? Oh gosh, CS, this
Wow.
is great.
Yeah.
Maybe Ee Lin, do you want to give it a go, and then I'll give it to Jeanne.
Yeah, to build trust, I think firstly, we have to walk our talk. That means we means what we say, and we do it as what we have said. That is very important. If we put up a promise, we make sure that we fulfill it, and yeah, that will build trust, because they know that you really mean what you say, and you will do it. And but at the foundation of the trust is actually your care for your people. Do you really care for them and love them or not? Yeah. Do you really care for them and really think about what is good for them?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what we have to have that as a
Yeah.
foundation first, then other things you do, because we are all emotional. We can feel emotion. If we really show our sincerity in caring for them, in wanting the best for them, they will know. Our staff will know, our team member will know. So I think that is the foundation of trust, to really care for people and
Mm,
think about their benefits, think about them first before
Mhm.
us. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
fantastic.
think that will be the first thing I think I will think about.
Thank you so much, Ee Lin. You were just echoed by Johan, walk the talk. And if your
Yeah.
actions do not mirror your words, you cannot build trust. That is fantastic. Yeah. Jeanne,
Mm.
some bit on trust that you want to add here.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome topic, because
Yeah.
this is one of the first reasons why you don't have a team when you don't have trust. So I think the first thing for me is to seek first to understand,
Okay.
and then to be understood, right?
Okay.
I like what Eileen said, to show that you care, not how much you know. I think that's a
Yes.
famous quote by John Maxwell.
Yep.
I also want to say this, that we, as leaders, we build trust when we give people a place to perform, a space to perform, and not a space to show how great we are. So I really want to call that out. People trust you when they see you want to help them get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
So you ask them about their career. When would you like to take over my seat? That's a tough question to ask for some leaders, right? Yeah, so I think people need to have that career talk.
Yes.
And people need to know, how can I improve my work? right? So are we
Yeah.
spending time? So if I can make it easy, right? It's just like a parent-child relationship.
Sure.
And love or trust is spelled as time, Time. So I think
Okay.
as managers, yeah, it's interesting. We started off by saying, right, we are busy because we have other people's checklists to take care of. That's a specialist mindset. But
Sure.
now, as a manager, we need to build trust. We actually need to spend time to help them
Yes.
complete their checklist.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good.
So I just want to add that if I can summarize it quickly,
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic.
Mm.
And CS is already thanking us for all the insights. Just one more insight for you, CS, is in building trust, and showing that you care. It's also in the communication, and it's also in the frequency of communication. So every so often, and I'll take what Coach Jeanne and Coach Ee Lin talked about, busyness, and sometimes we forget, or fail to communicate. And in any situation of leading your team, if you're ever in doubt whether to communicate, over communicate. If you're ever in doubt, just overdo it, because when you over communicate versus under communicate, there are so much more damages in rapport, in trust, in relationship when there's under communication as opposed to over communication. People will just say, okay, Marisa, enough, finish, shoo, enough, but under communication, people are left to guess, right? So
Yeah.
if I can, I'll just add that, because we're also talking about people that are transiting into becoming people managers. Hey, how much do I share? Do I talk about these things? Betul ke? But if ever in doubt, over communicate. More damages when we under do it. Oh my gosh, we're getting some really good questions. Another one coming up. Okay, we'll take the last one, and then we'll start to finish up, because I think the coaches have to rock and roll. Johan, think about whether your work environment is a trusting environment. For example, are your people policies based on a foundation that you trust your employees to do the right thing, or designed because you assume and expect your employees will do the wrong things? Wow, that is deep, Johan.
Yeah, it's
I think
awesome.
that is a webinar for another day.
Yeah.
It's really deep stuff. Thank
Building
you, Johan.
positive environment. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's calling it. He's calling a lot of really cool stuff that we've seen on
Thanks
the
so
news
much.
recently. Thank you, Johan. Last question. Last question. We'll start to wrap up. Some people are natural at leadership, and for some people, it is not natural. Are leaders born or made? Born or made? So is it innate, or is it a bunch of skills that creates the leader? Wow, this is actually very insightful, guys. Those of you who are on this chat, please jump in. But I'd like to pose this to the coaches in this room. Maybe Jeanne, you want to take it away? Awesome question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to hear everybody's answers to this, right? What do you think? Are leaders
Yes.
born or made, right? Let's
Yes.
hear from you too. I would ask a question to you, right? When we were in primary school and then secondary school, yeah, do you see your friends signing up for leadership positions? Do you see yourself signing up for it? Do you see the same old people signing up for all leadership positions in all different associations? Does that mean that they are born to be a leader? Because they keep signing up to be a leader. So, I mean, my take is I've experienced, leaders, right? My friends who sign up, they sign up. And then do I love them or do I gossip about them? So, and do I say, I wish the person can improve, right? So what I would summarize for myself is there's skills that are born and there's skills that needs to be developed. Both.
Okay.
Both.
All right.
For
So it's
those
going to
who
be
feel
both.
like, those who feel I'm ready to go, they actually signed up and they want to be a leader. And as they're doing that, they find out, right, where they're good and where they're not so good, and they do develop in time.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
do
so,
all
Jeanne, I
that.
think, Jeanne, something that you're saying here is, when we're younger and then we always sign up for all these leading positions in associations, that's actually a skill. It's a skill of recognizing opportunity, or the skill of wanting to be first. So it's actually leadership can be both innate or developed. But if leaders are born, then all of us need not have to learn or grow. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that development that's required. So I really love what you shared about, recognizing in school. I mean, I was very quiet in school. I didn't hand up first, I'm just like in the background, Maresa Ng, just do all that, Elin, what about you? What are your thoughts around this? And then we're gonna round it up. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think there are different aspects to leadership skills, because some of us may, in a way, so-called born good in certain leadership skills, but there are still other leadership skills that we need to. It's not natural to us that we need to develop. So vice versa. So to me, we may have some of the leadership's naturals that we are natural to, but we still have others that we can develop. So for me,
Right.
no matter whether you think you're natural, you don't have, or whatever, you still need to develop it. And
Right.
leadership skills are skills that you can develop
Wow.
over time.
Wow.
So
Wow.
for
That's
me,
fantastic.
don't worry about whether you have it or you don't have it. More important
Nice.
is that, do you want to develop your leadership skills or not?
And another question that I have, and I probably will pose this question for another day, is a lot of people ask me this question, Maresa, do we develop our strengths or do we develop our weaknesses?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that is question for another day. But this topic is so powerful, and it's so huge. Yeah. If you guys are enjoying the session, please let us know if you're enjoying the live wire right now. Type yeah, type yes. If you want more of these topics, yeah, please let us know. We want to hear from you what you
Yeah.
want to know about, and we can bring topics. If it's not us as the coaches, we bring guest speakers that will come. Last week I had Dr. Sean from that spoke about mental health and emotional intelligence. All right, so tell us what you want. If you enjoy this session, say yeah. And if you want further topics, let us know. Shamila says yes, awesome session, thank you. CS Lee, mwah, mwah, mwah. CS says concur with your points. All right, so let us know if these are very good for you. We would love to hear. Please share with friends. I'm just going to go around the room. Jeanne, Ee Lin, what are just some key advice for people that want to get started? And if you have a favorite book or a resource, please share it as well. All right? Yeah, take it away. Jeanne, you want to go first?
Sure. It's been a great session. I think we ended up at a space where made me ask, what is leadership, by the way? Because, just now I was just saying that primary school, secondary school, we sign up. It almost suddenly I had this thought in my mind, oh gosh, Jeanne, are you telling people that only people who are brave and courageous sign up? Is that leadership? Well, that's one trait of leadership, but that's why I just thought of another topic, which is like, can introverts lead? Because if I don't like people, I'm not brave enough, but I have so many ideas. I'm sitting in the corner. I'm like, gosh, I can help.
Yeah.
But I didn't sign up, So that's another topic. What is leadership? What are the traits? Extroverts, introverts, different type of folks, all can be leaders. And what does that mean? Right? So I just want to end with that. Like, gosh, we've just opened up a big hole of what is leadership. And I know we started with the topic of your transitioning from, I just want to say this. I had this question in my mind. When should somebody be trained to be a manager? Because from my whole life experience, managers get trained when they are already promoted as a manager.
You're put on the spot. Yeah.
You're put on the spot and go like, thank you so much for putting the title on me. And then, when's my training? Are you going to train me?
Yep.
So I just want to put that out to all of you, right? Should we
Very
train
nice.
managers when they become manager, or it should happen before that?
Right, okay.
So that's another,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for the questions. Okay, over to Ee Lin. Key advice for people that are getting started with leading and managing.
Yeah. So I think for one response to Jean's questions, when should we train them, right? So I think for me, I that what come to my mind is that apprentice type of arrangement. I will learn under a master first, even before I become the master. I will learn under a chef before I become the chef. So for me, that will be my approach on when should I train my managers or when should I train my leaders. Think about the apprentice style of arrangement. Yeah.
Okay.
So like any one of us, if we aspire to be a leader, we can start now. You know, you can
Mm.
attend courses, you can
Yeah.
read books. You can
Sure.
listen to. I think just now somebody was suggesting that the podcast. I think it's
Yep.
Caitlin. Is it like podcast?
Yep.
So to get yourself ready, think about yourself as apprentice. I need to go and learn first under a master,
Yes.
under a
Yes.
coach. Yeah.
Yes.
Then anytime when the opportunity comes, I'm ready, and I don't have to struggle so much already because I already have all the
Fantastic.
skills, all the tools that I needed.
Fantastic.
What I need now is just a playground to play.
Playground. That is beautiful. Caitlin Su, individuals should take initiative to learn. Absolutely. And I think I'll just add on to what Caitlin is talking about and Jeanne Ee Lin here. Leadership, people make the mistake of thinking leadership are only for people that have people to lead. But leadership is also beginning with self. If I can't lead my own ship, how do I help others or lead others? But it's got to begin with, and I love this apprenticeship that you're talking about here. And that's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Last comment from Johan. Introverts can lead. I've seen them do so.
Yes.
How do they do it? They recognize that they need to develop capabilities and competencies that are uncomfortable for them. For example, behaving like an extrovert. Ha ha ha. That's fantastic. Introversion and extroversion is just how you conserve energy. And believe it or not, I am actually an introvert. I conserve energy by being by myself, not being with more people. So if you see me now, a lot of people will say, yeah, this Maresa, she must be an extrovert. After a long day, I conserve energy by being alone. I read a good book. I listen to music. So introversion and extroversion is how you conserve energy. All right. So that's very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you, C.S. Lee. Well said. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we had an awesome time. Did you guys have fun? You guys have fun? Yeah.
Yes,
All
I
right.
did.
Okay. We had fun with you as well. So we're going to lead on to the next live wire very soon. So we're going to wrap up today's session, but we hope to see you again. We have a more amazing topic. So please tell us what you want. Please tell us what you want to learn. What are the questions that are in your mind? Just write to us. Write to us at hello@thesparkgroup.asia. Post us your questions, and when you write us your email, give it to us in a very detailed format so that we understand your issue. And we will probably, among all the emails that we get, we'll probably run the next live wire dedicated to your topic if you write to us. So please, by all means, we're very excited to do that with you. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Fizia. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come past the hour. Thank you for being with us. Love this very much. Thank you. And we will see you again soon. All right. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Caitlin.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe and stay well, and give us more questions.
Yeah.
Let's learn together.
And a shout out to all of you that were on this chat, just adding value into the conversation. Yeah? Thank you for doing
Absolutely.
that. Love it. All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you all.
sweetie. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.